How's it going, Virgo community? Soul Tigress here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So some key words here are misunderstood, misused by others at times in your life. You have a bit of low energy here. Oops, here we go. Questioning the choices that you've made and also your worth. You've done everything in your life to map out your journey to avoid any quicksand type of situations. But here you are, Virgo, stuck in the quicksands of life, not sure how to unstick yourself or if it is possible. Oh my goodness. And let me say the energy around the Virgo frequency is really, really heavy right now. I went ahead and I was looking at when the next Mercury retrograde is, and it's actually, I believe, from the 9th of November to the 29th of November. So you're in the midst of it, Virgo. You have your planet as Mercury. So you could be facing a lot of things where you're having just miscommunication with people. People are not understanding where you are coming from. And this could be people who are close to you, that you're having a lot of being at odds ends with, having a lot of them not understanding where exactly that you're coming from. And also Mercury is about how we think. So if you notice, it's kind of gotten more shadowy there. That's because of this retrograde. You're being put through a little bit of a test to see how you can navigate this. So partnerships, you're at odds ends with. Nature. So this tells me you haven't been able to get out and cleanse out. You're confused on how that is really benefit for you, a big benefit for you. Here's we have leadership, something that you're not seeing. Sometimes we need to get away to help cleanse out, clear our thoughts so we can come back and lead the direction that we want to go. Just know that this could be a great time for you just to back off and just to take a little break, a little breather kind of moment. And what I have here is receive, something that you're not seeing. For some reason, you and somebody else, there's something that's not being received from somebody else. This could be a person, place, and or thing. Polarities, taking the good with the bad, but also understanding we can't have either or without the other. Sometimes we go through different extremes in our lives, get caught in different situations, not because of the choices that we made. It happens because inevitable events happen. Think about this, Virgo, when you were planning out everything from your journey, for your journey 5-10 years ago, did you really see the economy in the direction or the way it is right now? I don't think anybody could predict that. So sometimes you have these monkey wrenches that are thrown into our plans that we don't understand or we didn't plan for. But that is the polarities of life. And a lot of times when we have challenges like that with people, places, and or things, and these inevitable things that happen around that, it is there to help create a new strength within us, a strength where we can take care of ourselves and be able to lead that direction as well, especially when we're going through the chaos. Something that we're not seeing and we're at odds ends with is gentleness. Remember, right now you are going through the mucks of things, especially when it comes to your communication and how you feel about yourself. This is just to reconfirm it's not you. It's just kind of the energy of right now. And this energy, like I said, is polarities that we need to learn from, be able to grow from, reestablish ourselves in ourselves and understanding who we are, what our dreams are, and what our intentions are for ourselves and for others. And sometimes it goes through the muck for us to be able to see what we're really about. All right, something else you're not seeing and you're confused on is prosperity. Being able to see that everything that you've worked hard for it to start to align, for you to be able to get the fruits of your labor type of thing. But right now, being stuck in this quicksand, what I get with this introduction is you're not receiving those fruits of the labor. You're too busy dealing with these other energies that are throwing you off balance, that are having you stuck, that are running you ragged to where it's really hard to cleanse out. It's really hard for you to take care of yourself. It's really hard for you to be gentle with yourself, because what I hear is you wanted something a little bit different right now. You really thought that your fruits of your labor should be happening in this moment of now. And what I'm hearing to tell you directly, Virgo, they are happening. But the thing is, you're stuck in this quicksand, and it makes it hard for you to see everything that you've been building, everything that has come to fruition. Might want to sit back and look at when you were originally planning things and all the steps it took to get to this point. Sometimes you have to go through the storms of life to make it to that new day. And just when the storm seems like it's at its worst and it's never gonna end, that's when people start to give up hope. But here, your storm is going to end. Things are going to change around for you. But the thing is you have to start changing how you feel about things too, so that you can awaken to the other fruits that you have. You may not have your ideal fruit, but you do have accomplishments here. All right, so let's get a little bit more clarity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When we're stuck, when we haven't reached where we thought we should be, definitely it doesn't feel like we're making accomplishments. But you've been steady this whole time, Virgo, working and working and working. Remember, Virgos are hard workers, and they don't work to please the ego. They don't work to show off. They work because they want this greater purpose. You work because you want to see things happen. You work because you want to provide a service for others. All right, anything else need to come out? So definitely the first card that's really standing out to me is this Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles to the Queen of Wands right there. Oh man, when you're stuck in this quicksand and you only feel like there's only one way of things happening, it could be things that are not the best balance when it comes to what's happening in your community and just the way that you're trying to pull everything together that I'm hearing to say. It makes it hard. It makes it hard for you to be able to rebalance. But here I have the Temperance, using optimism. And I think that's what you've done a lot of times. You've been able to use the optimism to create so much headway in the direction that you have been going. But there's just been a lot of conflict, a lot of confusion because of the choices that you did make. Now that everything's working out the way it is and you haven't received everything that you thought you would receive right now, it's definitely really, really confusing, and it's thrown off. It has thrown off what you thought, again, what you should have around you. It makes you feel like you're without, and it makes you not... What I'm hearing is you can't take pleasure in what you have created. Because again, there's this sense that you should have more around you. There's this sense that, you know, I've worked so hard, but things aren't coming together. A few other things that we're seeing. You're feeling foolish about some of your journey. You're feeling foolish about some of your journey because things should have been different right now. The things that we're surrounding ourselves with people, places, even the type of people that we communicate with. And the thing is though, from a younger age till now, you don't realize how many things that you've had to overcome to get to this point. You've overcame a lot of issues when it came to others. You overcame a lot of issues when it meant you being able to finish those first steps to start the journey to where you're at now. Definitely, it was an emotional investment for you. Something inside, really internal when it comes to your emotions that kept you wanting to move forward. It could be because you wanted to progress and make more, maybe from what you grew up in, maybe what you grew up around as well. But something here we haven't quite put to an end. And that is going round and round in our heads when it comes to people, places, and or things, or even communicating with ourselves, Virgo, having that progressive thoughts, as well as having mercy on ourselves, especially when we get stuck. Because think about it, when we get stuck between a hard place and a rock, we don't feel like, or we can't see how to develop from there. And what happens when we can't see our end goals, when we can't see us getting unstuck? We start to become hard on ourselves. And I feel like that's what's happening. But then we have this High Priestess energy, Cancerian. The key is to be very nurturing to ourselves, very nurturing to be able to, how do I want to put this? I want to say play nice. We have to play nice with ourselves to get ourselves to go farther sometimes. And I feel like this is something that you have an easier time doing for others, but you have a harder time doing for yourself. And that could be, again, looking at those different dynamics when you get stuck. Everybody gets stuck in life. And what I'm hearing right now, Virgo, because of your age, you really feel like things should be more progressive right now. But what I'm not seeing, Virgo, is looking at this bigger picture. Looking at the things that happen in your community and the economy. I always want to go back to economy here. The things that you couldn't predict. We couldn't predict what's happening right now. What we could do is just see our dreams and our goals ahead and how we want to work to get there. How can we receive being able to see the polarities in this? That is one. Being able to see this good with the bad here. You've made it this far. Now, what is it that you have to go through to really create these solid foundations for yourself? Because a lot of times when we go through these different storms in life, if we're able to take it with optimism, is you're able to learn from it. Instead of after everything's said and done and you looking at everything you lost, instead you take that optimism, you see what you've lost, and you build from there. You learn something new. Maybe I need to build some kind of shelter. Maybe I should stock up on this. Maybe I should have this prepared for next time. Just know what you're going through is definitely something that can help you prepare for future events. And what you build now is definitely the stepping stones to still get where you want to be. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, because where you want to be, I'm hearing to say this for you in particular, because I'm seeing a building. I'm seeing a building. So where you want to be, and I'm seeing this building still being built, where you actually are meant to be may not be ready for you. It may need time. It may need a little bit of something else, but whatever it is, it's still being built for your future. But here you have to create those solid foundations, so when it is ready for you, you are ready to move over there, to get there wherever you need to be, opposed to you giving up here and staying stuck in this quicksand. I seen a video and I kept seeing this video as I was writing down the vibe. And this lady was teaching people how to get out of quicksand. And from what I understood, excuse me, I'm going to take a quick detour, is we'll say like this is like a foot. And when you put that kind of pressure with a smaller kind of, how do I want to put it? When you put that more direct pressure with a smaller way to dispense it, then you start to sink. And then when you start to fight it, you start to sink more. And what she demonstrated was taking a different limb and spreading out the weight. Instead of just using a hand to get out, spreading out the weight of the limb to start giving her some leverage. And just the way she was pulling out her limbs, she was able to get there. So something here may teach you how to leverage things a little bit better, may teach you how to leverage something differently so you can pull yourself out of this. That could be something here. But let's go ahead. We got to stay moving forward. Angels of protection, please help protect and guide us as we navigate the Virgo's block here. What needs to come out for the Virgo's block? You know, showing up as the High Priestess energy here, I mean, you may feel like you could be a little irrational at times. You could really feel like you could be really taking at times, or something's not really giving to you. But honestly, showing up as a High Priestess, you're well read. You research before you make any moves. You know, you do your diligence before you make any final decisions. But the thing is, you can't prevent the inevitable. And as I was looking at this High Priestess, look at all the cards that fall onto this High Priestess. The whole thing is you could be having a hard time seeing these qualities about yourself, which keeps you confused and in the cold when it comes to the success of the things, especially for others. You know, maybe you have something here that you're working with a community, but you know, what you are willing to do is you're willing to sacrifice a lot of things, willing to do the most to get where you need to be. And it has been a lot of sacrifice on your journey. You know, you've had to take your focus from maybe a few other things that you wanted, maybe a few other hobbies or something, and you had to throw your focus all to this, whatever it is that you've been building. There's been a lot of sacrificing time, a lot of sacrificing your energy. And there's something that you really want to get a hold of, something that you want to have this outcome with, something that you've been trying to manifest. But again, you're feeling like you don't have a hold of this success. You feel like you haven't been able to bring in what you've been working really, really hard for. I think this is the thing that's really messing with you here, is we have to create an optimistic view. We also have to be able to flow with life. When we try and really hold on to things, when we try and force things to happen sooner than what they're supposed to happen, then we become overly focused on certain expectations. And I think that this is where you're at. And I keep seeing this building. There is this beautiful new building that I keep seeing. And the whole thing is you're not expecting whatever is being built in your future right now, because you're too focused on what has happened right now. You haven't really reached the goal yet. That's the thing, is you may feel like because you've been doing this for X amount of years that you are at your goal. You've reached it. You're not there yet. There is still more to go, more growth for whatever it is that you're working towards. Like I said, there's prosperity. That card came up and you're confused about that. But sometimes it takes going a great distance, to get to that prosperity. The whole thing is you were dreaming really, really big. You're still dreaming really big, and you've done really big moves to get to this point. Now I understand why this building is so big, because there is a big thing in your future. It is going to take a little bit more work, but what I'm hearing is things are getting set up. But if you stay stuck in this quicksand being hard on yourself, you're not going to have that optimism to help pull you out of this, to help learn the lessons from whatever it is that has you stuck in this quicksand. And a lot of times we have to learn how to take care of ourselves as we go through the chaos, not being hard on ourselves as we go through the chaos, because when you start getting hard on yourself, you start taking from yourself little by little by little, and that starts to drag your energy down, and that's going to affect your work, that's going to affect your relationships, that's going to affect where you go and how you operate, what and how much energy you put towards the things that you're really working hard for. Keep that in mind. This is just a lesson right here for you to learn how to have your back, to have that trust in yourself, to have that trust even though things are hard, things happen that you couldn't predict. It's okay. It is okay, because like I said, being able to flow will get you to where you really want to be. Sometimes it takes a few detours. Sometimes it takes waiting on something to be ready for you. Just know that if you have these really big dreams, these really big goals, it's gonna take some work. Alright, so let's call in divine and universal energy. Please help bring out these positive messages. What is it? Ooh, I think that's it. I like that one. What is it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is it that you would like to relate to the Virgo frequency? Oh my goodness. It's a lot, but it's beautiful. It is beautiful. So one of the first things I said, look at that. When I was talking about look at that bigger picture, that is the new moon in Sagittarius. So it's really neat that the full moon, did I say Sagittarius? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Of course, me. So look at the bigger picture is the full moon in Sagittarius. All right. So now we have here though a full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is being forecasted. Then I had another one, new moon in Taurus. Prosperity lies ahead. This is coming to the journey that you've been making. This is coming to how you've been working out of what I'm hearing to say your heart for this. This isn't just something where you want to create some kind of money grabbing scheme. You are working out of your heart. You're working out of your emotions. You're working out of your charisma for whatever it is that you're building. But something that you're at odds ends with, and this is something that we really need to do, is you got to let go of these fears. And one of the fears here is you feeling like you haven't reached any kind of fruition, like you haven't reached any success, like you can't see the fruits of the labor. But your fruits of your labor are here, else you wouldn't be at this point here. But the thing is we have to bring an end to a tough cycle, cleansing out these emotions that we're hiding from. Because a lot of Capricorns will climb cliffs to get away from how they feel. The whole thing is you're allowed to be frustrated right now, but the more you try and tuck that frustration back, the more it comes out in different ways in your life and in how you do your daily routines. But the thing is, a part of cleansing is being honest with yourself. A lot of people think it's weak to sit here and cleanse yourself out by admitting how you fully feel about shit. And that's not weakness. Sometimes we have to vent it out. We have to let it out. So I mean, really admitting that this really sucks. I didn't predict this. This just didn't work out the way that I thought it would work out by now. Get it out so that you're able to let go of it. So you're able to confront those feelings. So you're able to work through those feelings, type of thing. Expect a powerful change. Something that you don't see and that you're at odds ends with. Look at this. You are very close to a goal. Now, in order to have this powerful change, you have to know when to invest and when to let go. So when to hold on to things, when to keep investing in that one direction, and when to finally let go. And this is going to go hand in hand with you, especially if you want to keep yourself unstuck. This stress right here, you have to be careful with, because this is something that can also affect your health. That's why cleansing out, venting out your feelings, being able to work through your frustration is going to be very, very, very powerful for you, especially to get to what's being built in your future that you are bringing in by manifesting and working as hard as you have from the past until now. Now, a couple other things that we are not seeing is be bold and make the first move. And that has to do with you and your loved ones are safe. So being bold and making the first move to get yourself out of this confusion, to continue on your journey, not with the sense that you have to try and grab everything that you have to hang on to it, but with the sense with optimism. What's meant to stay is meant to stay. What's meant to go is meant to go. All right? Because when we look at life like that, then we're able to have room for the things that are meant to come in on our journey. But if we're too busy trying to hold on to certain ideas, certain expectations, certain people, certain places, then we build this block up. And we can't allow anything new in, and everything that is meant to go out, we start to damage. We start to damage ourselves through the stress and frustrations of trying to hang on to it. So be careful. One of Scorpio's little things, especially Cancerian, these two here. Look at those little doohickeys there, the little claws. I know I'm not the only one who's seen a video with either or and them hanging on to something. And if they would let go, they would be able to live. They'd be able to get through it. They wouldn't be holding on to something that's dangerous for them. Right here with these two signs, they struggle with letting go of things. And this is your challenge here, is to let go of this expectation that things should be a certain way right now. And letting go of those expectations is not saying that you're giving up on things. Again, you're making room for things to come in. Oof, I like this story a lot. There's a lot of fruit here. There is a lot of fruit here. You just have to remember, even though you're in the storm, prosperity does lie ahead. You have 2 prosperity cards you're confused on. You're confused on what you've built. You're confused on what the future is going to bring. But the divine tells you prosperity's ahead. The divine also lets you know that you're getting closer to achieving goals that you've been working really hard for, goals that you've sacrificed a lot for, trying to create these investments since a younger age. Not just investments in your environment, but these were also investments in yourself, to be able to bring on this currency where you can be fair with yourself, but also be fair with others in what you are building. But the thing is, with life's events now, you're kind of just confused. You're confused with what is happening around you. You're confused with what directions to go with others. You're confused on how much to hang on to. You're confused even at the frustrations that you're feeling at this moment, because your expectations that you had for now haven't been working out. You had this certain expiration date. But remember, being able to let go of these expectations. Be bold and make that first move when it comes to how you communicate with yourself, how you think about yourself, and bringing in this new gentleness as you are still working on what you are manifesting for this future. Taking a leadership and being able to cleanse yourself out, especially when the weight of everything is getting so heavy, so that you can be able to see how we need the good and the bad, the dark and the light, to keep moving forward. Keep moving forward to receive what we're meant to receive in our life, and let go what we're meant to let go. Again, creating that room for things to come in, for us to have that win-win outcome. But the thing is we have to put to an end an old way that we think about ourselves, the old way that we feel about ourselves, especially when we're feeling like a failure, when we're feeling like we're not bringing stuff in. Because when we do that, it affects our health. It definitely affects how we put energy to things. And the thing is you've been working really hard to get things going, to get yourself out of the cold, to build up to your dreams. And the thing is holding optimism still. Even though you feel like you're stuck, holding optimism right now is going to help bring in this powerful change for you. And you being able to get out of this quicksand of your disappointment of certain things not working out right now. Again, the gentleness is the key. Being gentle with yourself. Just because you don't have that ideal goal right now in this moment doesn't mean it isn't ahead. You have 2 prosperity cards here. You are close to your goals. It's there. It is there, but the time to give up is not now. What can we learn from this immediate moment to help us progress to the future of things? I like this story a lot, Virgo. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your energy, your patience with me as I was navigating this story. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out with all these positive messages. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.